accidents are terrifying experiences. You're hurt, and you need someone on your side who understands. Call the Advocates. They have over 20 years' experience with accident cases and have recovered settlements for hundreds of other motorcyclists. They can handle the medical bills and deal with the insurance company so you can focus on recovering and getting back on your bike. The Advocates are my motorcycle attorneys.
You deserve clear, risk-free advice to help get you back on your feet. You deserve an advocate.
This is the Monty Show, the truth in sports talk streaming. When you want unbiased opinions about your favorite team without the spin, all you have to do is find the Monty Show, streaming live and available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on YouTube. And now, here's Monty.
Hey, the Monty Show live on your YouTube machine. Good morning. Hope you are doing spectacularly well in our cashless society. Switzerland going all debit card, credit card, folks. Cannot wait to talk about that. We're going to talk about food today on the show. I know. And the Mega Millions is $500 million. I spent all night working my way up to 21 times a month, just thinking about what I could do with that $500 million. I'm in. I am in. The Monty Show presented by, it's going to be that kind of show. Jake is sick, by the way. Wait, cut it all. Make it stop.
Cashless.
Jake is sick today.
Yeah.
Are you going to make it?
I'm not sure. You just did. I'm sweating a lot.
Another reason I'm not getting a 21.
Yeah, it's tough.
Okay.
This is the Monty Show.
No, I'm kidding. The Monty Show is always presented by The Advocates. TheAdvocates.com, the best injury attorneys in the business, where you never pay the advocates out of pocket. Never. You don't pay the advocates unless and until they win your case. So a lot of people that get into accidents or need an injury attorney constantly find themselves saying, I can't afford it. I'm just going to go with my workman's comp. Or, I got hurt at work today. My boss is going to take care of it. Don't do it. Don't do it. The advocates have a system that takes the excuses away. Get what you deserve. Get what you need to take care of yourself and your family by going to theadvocates.com and chatting with an injury attorney live online 24/7, 365. And it won't cost you a dime. The Advocates, the best injury attorneys in the business at theadvocates.com. Some early shout-outs this morning. Hello, Mountain Mama. Mountain Mama's been on a run of first one in. Hit the like button, do a dance, move a little love, get down tonight. Giggity. Is anyone else striving for that magical 21 this month?
You're casual.
Good morning, guys. Jake, you going to get to 21 this month?
Not a chance.
Nope. Moved in with my girlfriend. That's
oh my God,
that's all
just
over
like
with.
that. Oh.
That's all over with. Pete Forte, the pro rata we all deserve. Good morning. Mike is jamming, as always. Mr. Preston.
Hey, you got to go see dude.
It's still up on the kitchen table, man. Oh, we'll put it in ourselves. No, we won't. Because then you wind up ripping your car apart and you don't know how to put it back together. Such as in like.
Told you to take it to him.
What were you and your old boy Lance trying to do that one day in his driveway?
So I bought some suspension parts for the STI. This was like several years ago now. And, me being me, I didn't know how to put them in. And my boy
You didn't
Lance,
know how to put it in.
Yeah, I didn't know how to put it in 21 times a month. So, I went over to his house and we tried to figure it out. And yeah, it didn't work out very well. And I had to go see someone else to get it done.
And it got dark. And
yeah, it was kind of a wreck.
Yeah, I hope you feel worse today. I do. Maybe we have to take Friday off. I mean,
I'm here. I showed up.
The real Pete Forte. It's a month. I thought it was a day. No wonder I'm raw. Wow.
Damn.
Wow. It's 21 times a month.
Stay hard.
21. How shall I say? 21 acts of dispensing your DNA in a month significantly lowers your chance of prostrate.
Lowers it by 35%.
Issues.
Yeah.
Prostrate issues 21 times a month.
Stuff.
All right, let's get to work talking Big Ten football. It is Big Ten Day on the Monty program. Is the Big Ten truly elite? And I know Ryan Day has every good football player left on the face of the earth on his roster at and I am very curious how Ohio State does. I think it's one of the storylines of the year. How does Ryan Day deal with the enormous amount of pressure mounting in Columbus? And I think this is exactly what Ohio State should be doing. Put a lot of pressure on Ryan Day. I think the Big Ten has storylines all over the place. How do the new 4 teams do? How does the Pac-12 arm of the Big Ten do? I think personally, and I know we have a lot of Southern California fans, I think USC is a surprise success story in the Big Ten this year. I think they're at least 8 games. I think UCLA is going to struggle to win a conference game. And I wonder truly, what has Jed Fish got at Washington? Is Jed Fish better than a 500 football team? I think we'll find out. And then, of course, speaking of pressure, there's Dan Lanning, who turned down the Alabama job to stay at Oregon. Is Dan Lanning and are the Oregon Ducks a college football playoff team? I think those are the biggest talking points in the Big Ten right now, Jake.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that, the big thing for Ryan Day is there's only one like acceptable result this season, which is a national championship. Like the idea that anybody's even, questioning what the goal is this year is crazy to me. Like Ohio State, it's either a national championship or bust. And I think for the Big Ten, like that's a great thing. But the problem is that I'm not that confident in Ryan Day's ability to take his team to Autzen and win that ball game. We're all looking forward to that game. We're all, counting on Dan Lanning to struggle while he's sick and talking. But in all seriousness, we're counting on Dan Lanning to show up this year and to win the big game. And I think that, for Dan, it was kind of a ballsy decision to stay at Oregon. I have to say, you had a chance to be the successor to Nick Saban, to go out and take a career defining gig. But Dan didn't look at it that way. Dan said, hey, let's go be in the Big Ten. Let's keep our recruiting pipeline built up. And then from there, we can go out and chase national championships. So I absolutely think Oregon's a college football playoff team. I think for the Big Ten, the only question is how many are going to get in, because I have to believe that Oregon and are in the college football playoff.
Yeah, I'm not ready to rubber stamp Oregon yet. I was really looking at matchups and trying to get ready for that Oregon Ohio State game. And I'll be honest with you, I don't feel like I have a real grasp on what that game turns out to be. I think it's one of the most difficult games to project. I still think it's at Autzen. You have to lean to Oregon. But I think that's arguably the game of the year. It's inarguably one of the games of the year. I am just really, really curious. What does Will Howard look like for the Bucks? What does Dylan Gabriel look like for Oregon? That is going to be, my God, that is going to be a game that if you are not cranking up the smoker, I don't know what you're looking at.
Well, and the physicality of Oregon is why I would give them the edge in that particular game. Obviously Ohio State has, the best athletes. They've got, everything you could want in terms of talent. But Dan Lanning has this ability to get his guys to say, hey, like, yeah, you may be, a little bit more talented than we are, but we want it more. We want it more. We're going to be more physical at the point of attack. We're going to dominate in the trenches. Like, that's where Oregon is going to win this ball game. Or that's how they would win the ball game. Because if you let Will Howard just stand back there, obviously bad things are going to happen for you. So that's where I say, I would agree, going to Autzen, you have to favor Oregon. I don't know how you don't.
Yeah, I think the Ohio State defense will be the best defense in the country. I don't know that they have a real weakness. Obviously it's make or break for Will Howard, who's got elite speed at wide receiver. He's got one of the best wide receivers in the country. Josh Simmons at tackle as a senior, I think, is absolutely imperative that the 6'5", 310 pounds of twisted steel and sex appeal stay healthy. I mean, I think he is absolutely incredible. Caleb Downs, you know that story already. And I think when you look at the the Egbukas, the Denzel Burks of the world, Quinshawn Judkins at running back. Huge pickup. But make no mistake, it is going to be Jack Sawyer and this defense that are going to determine what happens in Eugene against Oregon. And I think that my feeling is that Ohio State's going undefeated. And I'm sure that I will vacillate back and forth on this Oregon game with Ohio State. But I still think Autzen one of the most difficult places to go and win a game. But how do you lose games with that much talent? I have no idea. If you're Ryan Day, do you even have to do you roll out the Jim Harbaugh plan where you just don't show up on game day and your team wins anyway?
We show up.
I think you're that much better than anybody else. I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm putting too much into Ohio State. Maybe I have too much faith in Lloyd Carr incarnate, which is what I affectionately call Ryan Day.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I just with that much that Will Howard's a really good quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, they should beat the hell out of most teams they play. You know, I that's why I said, like, you know, you look at their schedule and you look at some of the matchups, like there's only really 2 games on their schedule that should give them trouble. Like, I don't even consider Penn State a game that should give you trouble. I think that the only trouble that you really should have
you're worried about Akron.
Yeah, I'm really, man, just sweating.
Northwestern
is really, man.
Are you worried about Purdue, boiler down with Purdue?
Man, really, we're going to boil over.
It is going to the games that you have to note. The game that should really worry you is Nebraska. I think that is Nebraska's I think Nebraska could be an 8-win team. And I know I'm fat. I don't know what I'm talking about. We get it.
Right.
Nebraska can be an 8-win team. And if we look at Nebraska's schedule, obviously with Dylan Raiola and the expectations they have, their schedule's not difficult. UTEP, Colorado, Northern Iowa, Illinois, at Purdue, Rutgers, Indiana, and then October 26th at the Shoe against Ohio State. UCLA at USC, Wisco at Iowa. That's a 3-loss team. Because you're not, I think, and obviously it's the last game of the year. It's after Thanksgiving. But going to Iowa City is not going to be any pleasure cruise this year. They're going to be better. Wisconsin, but that game's in Lincoln. So I think they beat Wisconsin. I think their losses are Ohio State, USC, and Iowa. And I think that they should win a minimum of 8 games.
Yeah, I mean,
that's how I look at Nebraska.
And Matt Rule is obviously, you know, he obviously knows what he's doing, and I think that it's just taking time for him to kind of build that thing up. And obviously the Big Ten really needs Nebraska. You know, Nebraska, obviously hasn't done a bunch of winning recently, but you know, if Nebraska can be better, that only bolsters your chances of getting those college football playoff shares. Because again, I'm just telling you, the conversation around like who's going to win the Big Ten, and then also who's going to get into the college football playoff out of the Big Ten and the SEC. You know, everyone's just expecting it to be 4-4, but I don't know that that's the case. We have to see how that plays out.
Yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. I think there's a lot of sneaky, difficult teams. I think Rutgers is going to be good. I think Rutgers probably wins. I don't know. Does Rutgers win 8 games? I think probably. I think this conference is going to be better than most people think. I think it's going to be deeper than most people think. And it'll just be
a grind.
Hey, I think so. I think the Big 12 and the Big 10 are going to be very similar conferences, which again is why I say I think the SEC is going to have a tough time not getting all 37 of their teams into the college football playoff. There's only 12 spots.
Right.
Vanderbilt's going to the college football. Anyway, the point is, I honestly think an SEC team is going to win the ACC championship. So we'll see how that goes in court. But my point is,
savage.
My point is, well, I just snorted my earful. My point is, I think the Big Ten's going to have a legitimate chance to the bottom of the Big Ten is going to be awful. Let's just stop talking. Oh, Monty, but it's Purdue. Joe Tiller is dead and he's not coming back. Joe Tiller. I think the bottom of this league, I think UCLA is going to be the worst team in the Big Ten. Well, I don't think they win a Big Ten game.
Are they going to be more prepared than they were to give a speech at Media Day? Or, I mean, what are we doing?
I think they're 0-9 in the conference. I don't think they win a game. My question is who is winless? If I say will Boiler Down win a game?
Yeah, they'll win a game. Yeah.
You think they'll win a game? I think I think UCLA and do UCLA and Purdue play? They don't play. I think there's a chance we have 2 winless teams because Purdue sucks. And I'm here for it. Let's just be honest. Boiler down. I'm here for it. West Lafayette's a shithole
because it's
should be wiped off the face of Indiana.
Is it worse than Stillwater?
No, but it's worse than your mom.
Well,
my point is, Stillwater's actually a really nice town. My point, they don't have a barber clearly, but my point is, West Lafayette is the scourge of America. There's nothing good that happens. They make some nice truck trailers and they, have chemical plants there and stuff, which is cool. It's not a good place to exist. Like West Lafayette sucks and Lafayette's worse.
Right.
So nothing good happens there. Like you can't
Boiler down.
Yeah, you can't grow seeds. 21 times a month is combined for all men in that town. I'm just telling you, there's nothing good about West Lafayette. And I hope that it doesn't exist tomorrow. Which, depending on what happens at the DNC tonight, could be. Anyway, let's move on. Northwestern. I think Northwestern wins a game because they have Miami of Ohio on the schedule. Minnesota will win 2 games because they have Rhode Island they play Rhode Island.
Man, that's neat.
The scrapping Illini will be. I think they'll be a 500 team, but they're not beating like Illinois. Illinois actually has a very difficult schedule. They're going to lose on their schedule. Their losses, I think, will be Kansas, Nebraska, Penn State, Michigan. I actually think they'll beat Minnesota. Oregon, and then the Northwestern game will decide if they go to a bowl or not. So, I don't know. I think the bottom half of the conference sucks bad.
It's terrible. It's
really,
terrible.
really bad.
Well, that's why I say you should have no problem getting 3 or 4 in because the bottom half of your conference is trash. I mean, it's terrible. And those should really just be auto wins. Like you should be able to beat those teams, no problem. Backups get into the game. That's what you're talking about.
I think now that Michigan isn't stealing signs anymore, Rutgers can win a game. And I think that's going to be, I think Rutgers and Nebraska will be the surprises of the Big Ten.
Sign stealer guy.
I think Michigan backslides and probably loses 3 games. Backslides. Who are you, TCU? I think that Ohio State, I think, goes undefeated. I can't find a way to I want to. But with that talent on that roster, I mean, are you giving up? How many points a game do they give up? What did they give up last year? 9.7 points a game. Are you giving up 3 points a game at Ohio State?
I mean, they should be right around that number.
I mean, do you guys realize Ohio State outscored their opponents 81-27 in the first quarter?
It's crazy.
Yeah, we'll see. I think it's going to be really interesting. I look at the games that should be close: Iowa, Sparty, Oregon, and Pedo. And then I think obviously the Michigan game is always a toss-up, but it's at the shoe, so we'll see. They are going to end Indiana football. Marshall, I think they beat Nebraska, Northwestern, Purdue, Western Michigan, Akron.
Yeah, I mean the Oregon game and the Penn State game are the two that are just like those are the two that your season hinges on. You know, you like Ohio State should be able to beat Penn State all day long. You should. And the Oregon game is that one game that I look at where I say, hey, you lost to Michigan last year because they were way more physical than you were, and that's exactly what Oregon does. So that's why I don't have them going undefeated. I think they're one loss, and that's to Oregon.
I think if Ohio State averages 100 yards plus on the ground, they're going to go undefeated. The offensive line, Will Howard's not going to get. I don't think Will Howard gets sacked a single time this year, ever. I'm not sure that he gets hit. I'm not sure that any defensive end will ever get close to Will Howard again. That offensive line is elite at pass blocking. My question is, can they run block? And if you can't run block, does Chip Kelly ever call a running play?
Or do they throw it in the flat constantly?
If they are a good run blocking team, does Chip Kelly ever call a running play? I just think it's going to be really interesting. I think in the comments section, does Ohio State go undefeated? Do they go to Autzen Stadium and beat Oregon? You don't think they do?
No, I don't think they do. I think Oregon's too physical for them. I think Oregon is just that team that is
okay.
You know, Dan Lanning's teams are always ready for the fight. Like Ohio State may be more talented than Oregon, but Oregon is going to get to Will Howard. They will. And I think that Oregon's main mission in that game is to create turnovers. That's all you're trying to do. And when that happens, you're going to get control of that game quickly.
Yeah. I think if you're Chip Kelly and you have the best backfield in the country, arguably, I think you've got to call a balance sheet. Like that's what's going to beat Oregon. That's Oregon. That's going to beat Oregon. And man, you look at the fact that Travion Henderson averaged 6 yards per carry. And Quinshon Judkins, who was, let's not forget that cat can play. He was number 1 at Ole Miss. And now they're in the backfield together. James Peoples, I think, is a really good young player. I don't know, man. I think it's going to be really tough. I think the wide receivers at Ohio State, how are they not going to score 40 points a game?
Yeah, they'd have to mess it up.
How do they not score 40 points a game?
Yeah.
I think they go to Oregon and win. And I'm probably drinking my own moonshine, but yeah. Willie Wilson, Oregon matches up with Ohio State pretty well. They do. That's why I think I'm vacillating back and forth. Mike Smith, Ohio State should go undefeated. Oregon still has nightmares about Penix. Big Penix energy.
Right.
Big Penix energy. You know. Nick D, which is different than Nick 'SD.
And pardon me.
One good thing about Ohio State going to Eugene is Chip Kelly knows that place. Well, certainly he does. You know, I don't know. I'm here for it. I can't football. They just need to play that game tomorrow.
Absolutely.
Because I'm ready.
ASAP, as soon as possible.
I'm ready. And I hate week 0. I think I've told everybody that. I think week 0 sucks. I hate it. I think week 1 of the college football season should be only big matchups. You should not be able to play Waxahachie State.
Dude, Abilene Christian, man. Come on.
The steel workers of Abilene Christian. You should not be able to play Mom's Sewing Circle in week 0. I think we should get Ohio State and Oregon as a week 1 game. Play your biggest, baddest non-con week 1. I'm here for it. It should be Utah and BYU. We should get big games. I'm here for it. I want it. I need it. And because frankly, if you look at what game are we supposed to be really excited about? Florida State and Georgia Tech.
Oh, wow, man.
in all seriousness, is there anybody that's excited about Florida State and Georgia Tech? I mean, Montana State, New Mexico. How are you? I mean, get your popcorn ready for week 1 because that game's going to suck. I mean, obviously SMU, the pro rata they deserve to pay the ACC.
Obviously.
I just don't see the Florida State game does not have me excited.
Yeah, I mean, you should be excited about Preston Stone and SMU. I mean, come on.
Stay hard.
I mean,
come on. I mean, clean cut, like, he's going to do well.
If there is justice anywhere in the sports world, the gods will favor Nevada in that game. Not Nevada. They'll favor Nevada. That would be, if they go to McKay Stadium in Reno and lose, I might show up trashed on Monday if that happens.
My bad.
Are you kidding me? Oh my God.
Yeah, that'd be tough.
I so badly want Abilene Christian to just go play Tarleton. I don't care. I want big games in week 0.
Yep. Ban LSU, week 0. Let's go.
I need, and you look at week 1, it gets substantially better, right? It gets substantially better in week 1. And I appreciate that, right? But Utah playing Southern Utah, I'm not here for that. I'm not Kansas and Lindenwood. Well, holy cow.
Man, Lindenwood.
I'm swole. I'm not here for that. Temple, Oklahoma. Nah, bro. Now, Notre Dame and Texas A&M on August 31st, 10 days from right now, a week from Saturday. I'm here for that.
Well, you guys are going undefeated, right? I mean, that's what SportsCenter said.
I don't know who you guys is. It'll be interesting to see, like Georgia, Clemson. Kirby, I need Team All SRT to run over Clemson.
In God's name, image, and likeness.
And Dabo, get his ass fired right
we
there.
We built
Done.
this program on NIL.
That's it. That's at Mercedes-Benz and Joe.
We really did.
Atlanta. Run his ass over. Get him out of here. And listen, Neil Brown, you got the pedos. They're coming to Morgantown. I am begging you, Neil Brown, please run the ball for 72 minutes in that game. Control the clock. Beat Pedo State. End their season. Actually, don't get James Franklin fired because he keeps Pedo State very mediocre.
Right.
Mediocre.
Yeah, what's mediocre?
Yeah. And then, of course, I think we're all rooting for South Dakota State. The Boone Pickens, Stillwater, let's go South Dakota State.
Right. Yeah.
And that's it.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, week 1's got some good games.
The week 0 does not.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at. McNeese versus Tarleton State is where it's at. Exactly, Marvell. That is. Florida State, Georgia Tech will only be interesting if Georgia Tech is ahead in the game trying to pull an upset, making people switch over to watch. And I think Georgia Tech's going to be better. Or excuse me, the Jackets are going to be better.
The Jackets.
Do you know the name of the Georgia Tech mascot?
Yellow Jackets?
Yeah. Wow. Nice job.
Thanks.
Nice job.
For once.
Marvell, football is football. This is week 0. These matchups are an appetizer. I won't be watching. I'll flip over Mike. I'm Mike Smith. Tell me why I should watch this game. Daniel Dixon, Iowa's finest. Should be Power 5 versus Power 5 school, no FCS teams. Utopic. But this goes back to the only play, P5s on your schedule and play 9 conference games.
Right. Gotta have strength schedule.
Isn't that this conversation? Isn't that the exact conversation we're having right now? Like, hey, everybody should play, P5 should play P5s. Well, that's what the Super League's about. Because I do think, and I think every school has it where you're playing Tarleton in week 12.
Right.
Look at Ohio State. They're playing the Little Sisters of the Poor. Boiler down in Indiana in November.
Like they're gonna beat the hell out of both of those teams. That's 70 points on both those teams, bro.
And they go to the Dong Wash at Northwestern.
The Dong Wash.
What?
Bro. The
What?
Dong Wash?
Yeah, the week before Thanksgiving.
Do you think that Ohio State would excel at Shower Olympics? Being that they're playing Northwestern? What do you think?
What kind of question? Like, see, you say things like that. And I'll give you the benefit of the doubt that you're coming off of a NyQuil buzz into a DayQuil buzz. And so you're probably not thinking correct. No, you say stupid shit every day on this show. So
Dilly.
It's true.
Just you couldn't just leave Dong Wash alone to like crop dust the show on, in its greatness.
Nope. Couldn't do it.
Dong Wash is amazing.
It is.
And is nobody picking up on that? I just compared Purdue to Tarleton. No. Okay, that's fine. San Diego State, Glenn, I'm rooting for Fresno State for a change versus Sign Stealer Guy.
Sign Stealer Guy. We covered that, didn't we talk about that? Sign Stealer guy got a job.
Sign stealer guy.
At the high school level.
Yeah, he's a defensive coordinator at some morally bankrupt high school. So, I would love to see Fresno State beat Michigan. I mean, everybody hates Michigan.
Obviously.
Oak State James says, we were just talking about Preston Stone and his huge joint.
Stay hard.
You had to go there. You want South Dakota State to beat Oak State? Wow, evil Marty is back.
The CAC.
Because nobody likes Mike Gundy.
Still haven't heard what the punishment's going to be for good old Ollie Gordon.
He's running stairs. I believe he's running stairs.
Mm.
I just have visions of Oak State James standing at the bottom of BPS with like a whip, and he's down there cracking the whip on Oak State. Monty's picking you guys to lose to South Dakota. Whoosh, get up them stairs. See, that's what I think. You want the entire team running stairs. That's who Oak State James
And he's
is.
got his Buc-ee's sandwich while he's doing it.
Mike Smith, rebuke him, James. August 31st, Gig'em.
Gig'em? What the hell does that mean?
Gig'em. Aaron Wilson, America's best mailman. Good morning, everyone. Have a great day. No, Aaron. You have a great day. Is it hard to organize your mail so it goes to the right address? I've always wondered about that. Aaron is legitimately a mailman. He works in West Lafayette, Indiana as a mailman.
Sorry.
Okay, nothing. Okay, he didn't hear a word I just said. I just said that you are a really good guy and you have sex every night, and you missed it.
I get it.
Yeah, no, I didn't. My point is, Aaron Wilson's a mailman in Tarleton, Texas.
Right.
And when he's delivering the mail in Sioux Falls, I'm just very curious, like, how do you organize? Does a machine do it for you? And you just get a stack of mail and you just throw it into the mailbox?
Like, do you show up and your truck is already loaded, or like, what's the deal?
Yeah. You just throw it in the mailboxes? Like I throw it? No. Nope.
Yeah, I mean, throwing it in the box is definitely an art form,
Willie Wilson, Penn State has 3 games leading up to the game against the Mountaineers. 2 are against tough opponents. Both teams would be ready for a tough game. Nobody likes Pedo State. Nobody. And if he does lose, if we're being legitimate, which I don't know why we would turn over a new leaf on this show.
Right.
I think he has 1 loss, and it's to the Ohio State at Happy Ending Valley. I think that's the only Pedo State loss.
They have Oregon or no?
No, they have Washington, but that's at Pedo State. Their toughest games are at West Virginia to open the season. Yeah, what are you talking about? They have games leading up to that. No, they don't. No, they do not. Pedo State at West Virginia, August 31st. And then, I mean, he gets out of the gate with West Virginia and then Bowling Green.
Wow, man.
Urban Meyer's no longer the head coach of Bowling Green.
It's Division I football.
Big step up to Kent State. And then Illinois. These are all at home. UCLA goes to Happy Ending. At USC.
See, that's one where I would say, hey, you might lose.
Lincoln Riley sucks as a coach. What are you talking about?
Well, no, he sucks in the playoff. He doesn't suck in the regular season.
Well, at Penn State, they suck all anyway. At
We really
USC,
did.
at Wisco, Ohio State, Washington, at the hellhole known as West Lafayette, at Minnesota, and then home for Maryland. Maryland's going to be interesting too. That's a 1-loss schedule.
No, they'll lose another game, bro. They'll lose to Ohio State and they'll lose one more.
Hey, from your mouth to God's ears, kid. Like,
they're a 2-loss team.
I mean, let's hope. I hope they're a 7-loss team. Like, I hope Pedo State never wins another game. Pedo State versus West Virginia is the first game for each. I don't know, Willie, what you're talking about here with 3 games leading up to it. Yeah. UW fan, Jim, I'm no Ducks fan, but they rock the portal and we're already very close. Yeah, but then what did Ohio State do? If Ohio State wasn't close.
Look, it's going to come down to that late game execution. I mean, that if you're an Oregon fan, that's where, I think you have to have some hesitation about playing big games because that late game execution on a Dan Lanning wasn't great.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm not shying away from it. Yeah, I sound
You're
like
on the
shit.
verge of coughing. Like, I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. I don't feel bad for you. San Diego State Glen does. I'm just being a dick. But what else would I be? Just ask. Does BYU have a starting quarterback yet? I talked to a guy at BYU yesterday who says it's Jake Retzloff. And again, and I know I've said this 100 times over the last 5 days, Jerry Bohannon's a good quarterback. He's had one good stretch in camp where I heard about this play. Talking to this guy at BYU yesterday, I heard about this play that Bohannon had in week 2, I guess it was, which was not even a throw. It was a run. And yeah, I agree. Jerry Bohannon is probably a better runner than Jake Retzloff is, who's a really good runner. But Bohannon's very fast. He has got size and he's fast. But you look at the dime pieces that Jake Retzloff is putting down. I mean, the guy is throwing the ball. I don't know when. I'm trying to be optimistic about BYU. This is a better show when BYU wins games.
100%. But we don't watch BYU games, so just so we're all clear on that.
Or Jazz games.
Yeah, or Jazz games.
We're a Utah show. Don't forget that part. But let's get something straight. If BYU goes with a 2-quarterback system, I will hit Jake's toes with a sledgehammer. I'm not here for it. That's not how you win games. You need to pick a guy, and he needs to be your dog. You need to pick a dude, Jake Retzloff, and ride with him for the next 2 years. He's a junior, and I think he's technically a redshirt junior. He's a junior who's ready to play. And again, in the comments section yesterday, I love everybody that's like, oh, I saw what he did last year. Oh, so quarterbacks don't get better. Guys with no spring ball or really fall camp who's coming off a surgery and was not supposed to play last year, and you just threw him in as the quarterback. Yeah, he can't improve on that. Like, BYU fans, as you are passionate, you are also negative. And I don't understand it.
Totally agree.
Sean Rollins says Tarleton, Texas.
Right.
I'm saying, right? I don't mind getting sick. Just why don't you just don't
I
cover
didn't cough towards you.
Don't cover your mouth. It's fine. Yeah, cover your god. When the super hi.
See? Told you.
Already
doesn't make you feel responsible.
You should. When the Super League happens, I'll feel bad for the MAC schools and others that benefit from playing bigger schools. Well, the paydays do go away. Losing some of those dollars will hurt those small programs. I agree. And it's, the funny thing there is when you talk about losing dollars and you need to make money, it's why you need to download the Prize Picks app.
Cashless.
And use the promo code Monty. Monty.
Not Marty. Not Monty.
Morty.
Monty.
Hey, Morty. Monty. Use the promo code Monty. Download the Prize Picks app. Another win last night. Now, listen, you jamokes. Let me tell you about the New York Yankees.
Monty.
Okay. They lost last night, but I would very much like to thank Aaron Judge because as a simp I went back to Aaron Judge and Prize Picks. Guy came through. I needed 2.5 hits, runs, and RBIs last night. And my guy, 2 for 5, a run and 3 RBIs. Big pimping. Right? And then, of course, because I'm a masochist, and if Prize Picks would open, there it is. Because I'm a masochist and a Cub fan just the same, which is one and the same, right? Like when you like being, putting yourself in pain on purpose, you watch Cubs baseball.
Right.
And I would like to thank Cody Bellinger for the 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs with 2 ribbies and 2 hits.
Nice job, dude.
That's my pimp right there.
Yeah, nice job.
That's my guy right there. Now on the negative part of it, and a lot of this is because, well, I'm a degenerate kind of, dude. Somebody needs to call this somebody needs to call the Seattle Storm.
You did not play WNBA basketball.
I will admit that I don't know shit about the Seattle Storm.
The Dub.
Skylar Diggins is the only name I knew. And so I had her at 26.5 points, rebounds, and assists. Who would like to know what she finished with? 25.
Owned.
2 of 3 because I play a flex play. So I won 31-25. I'm telling you, Prize Picks is amazing. I will never play the WNBA on Prize Picks again. Falling asleep scrolling through news stories last night on the couch, listening to the television. No, my wife. She's a saint. Once my head hits, I think I actually am fully in REM sleep before my head even hits the pillow. She had on Barack. We were listening to Barack Obama's speech last night, laying in bed. I made it through like 35 seconds. Had to watch it this morning when I got up.
It's not going to help you hit 21 times, bro.
Let me tell you, I have no problem hitting 21. But the point is, Prize Picks is amazing. And I love it. You deposit $5, they'll give you 50 more. It's as simple as this. Download the Prize Picks app on your phone, open a new Prize Picks account.
What do you think is the most profitable sport on Prize Picks?
Golf? Your mom's nightlife. Golf is the easiest to win. College football is second and NFL is third. Major League Baseball is fantastic. I win probably 4 out of 5 baseball plays. I do. I think football season is where Prize Picks lives. It's so much fun to watch college football playing Prize Picks. It is. And again, I give you the formula to win. Okay, so download the app, open a new account at Prize Picks, deposit $5, they'll give you 50 more. Best promotion in the history of daily fantasy. You make 3 plays, and at Prize Picks, it is Quinshawn Judkins, 50.5 yards more or less. Will he run for 50 yards or will he run for 51 yards? Okay, if you think 51, you take more. If you think 49, you take less. That's it. You make 3 of those picks, play it on a flex play, so you only need 2 of 3 to win. You're good to go. It's that simple. Prize Picks, the official daily fantasy partner of the Monty Show. Use promo code Monty. Deposit $5 in a new account. They'll give you 50 more. Bailey Dietrich, hello. Ohio State will win the Big Ten championship this year. Go Bucks. Really out on a limb this time, aren't you? Mike Smith, you can tell when you have become a degenerate gambler when you bet on the WNBA.
That's what I'm saying. What, Caitlin Clark wasn't available?
I don't think she played last night. I don't know the WNBA. I don't profess to follow it close enough to be like, oh yeah, Skylar Diggins. And she's got one of those bullshit hyphenated names where I'm just like, okay.
Sky Diggs.
Just take it. Just take it, right? I'm just taking it. Well, literally and figuratively. And let me tell you something, boys.
I want more.
I lost badly. That would have been $56 in the pimp's pocket. Could have bought new golf balls. Now I'm going to have to steal some. You Yeah. Yes, I did. I bet the WNBA. Ross Halford. Chip Kelly is living his best life right now with all the toys he inherited.
100% agree. 100%.
How could you not?
Elite offensive coordinator.
Boyd Lake. I'm not worried about the O-line being better at BYU. Doesn't much matter who the QB is if the O-line. I'm more worried about the O-line. The O-line's going to be fine. My question is, does LJ Martin stay healthy? Can they run the football?
Well, and I think to your point about the whole like 2 quarterback system, thought process, like last year, the thing I didn't like was BYU was constantly like switching out the entire offensive line. I mean, they had 2 units that they would rotate, and I just didn't quite understand that. And so
Kingsley.
Yeah. You
had
Kingsley, and you had some really good talent, but I don't know. I want there to be one quarterback, name the starter and ride him out the whole season unless he's hurt, and then have your starting 5 on the line. Like, I just don't think it's that difficult to understand. I sometimes feel like, Aaron Roderick and Kalani Sitake overthink it a little bit. Like just keep it simple, fellas. Like it make Jake Retzloff the starting quarterback, use LJ Martin to run the football, and get Cody Epps open through the offensive scheme. That's all you have to do, and you will be successful offensively. You will.
I think, and I like Keaton Slovis as a human being. We had this talk on the show last year.
Yep.
Keaton Slovis was not the guy.
We told you who he was going to be, and what happened? He was who we thought he was.
I think that if you are going to have this group of wide receivers back, Cody Epps, Chase Roberts, if you can keep LJ Martin on the field, this team will score 28 points a game. If Jake Retzloff is your starting quarterback. And I think it's going to be really interesting to see what happens. Here's my fear. If Jerry Bohannon's the starting quarterback, this is a plotting, methodical offense.
Yep.
And they will be in consistent 21, 24, 28, 24 games. If Jake Retzloff is your starting quarterback, they will be explosive. They will have over-the-top abilities, and they will consistently score 28 to 31 points a game. If Jerry Bohannon's the starting quarterback, they will hover around 24 points a game.
Yeah, I don't want to see read option with Jerry, dude. I don't want to see, designed runs and all that. Like, I don't want to see that, bro. What I want is, and it doesn't even have to be pro style, but I want a nice traditional offensive setup. 5 guys on the line. You've got your 3 workhorses in the wide receiver room. You've got Jake Retzloff, and then use LJ Martin, when you need to. I'm telling you that this team's biggest issue last year was not just that Keaton Slovis wasn't good enough to get the job done, or that, Retzloff wasn't ready, but it's more like, hey, you were too inconsistent. You just were too inconsistent with how you were running the offense. And so that's why I say, like, you look at BYU's schedule, and it's not an easy schedule. A lot of people are picking them to win 4 games. And I see 7 wins, but a lot of people have them at 4. And that's where, to your point, I say, hey, why are we messing around with the quarterback? Because my opinion is, and maybe I'm too harsh for this, I do think at this point you should have named your starter already. Like, it should have happened, should be done. But that's just my opinion. So we'll see. But I'm tired of the team is largely going to pick who the quarterback is. Like, who it should be. Let's get the show on the road.
Yeah, and Jack Kelly's going to have to be one of the leaders of the defense. I mean, obviously he knows Jay Hill well, played for him at Weber. I think that's huge. And I think, again, I think Jay Hill has a defense that's ready to rock and roll and compete on a week in, week out basis in this league.
Well, you remember what Jay Hill said last year, right? We're not doing 1 down lineman and 10 guys dropping back. We're not doing that. So I would fully expect to see, a lot more like single high, 2 high safeties, man across, like more traditional style offense. And I'm curious with Jay Hill, is there going to be a lot of disguise in the defense? Is there going to be, are you going to see the slot corner, going after the quarterback a lot? How aggressive is Jay Hill going to be? Because that's where BYU is going to get over the top on some of these teams. If they can, as a defense, put that team in third and, 7 or 8 plus percentage, like on percentage, you're going to be more successful that way. So that's what I'm saying. I just think that the pessimism, the negativity towards BYU is unfounded.
And as far again, and I don't want to get too far away, Jake Retzloff is a guy who was untested, had 0 prep time last year, and yet BYU fans are like, oh, he turns the ball over constantly. Okay, well, he's thrown 1 interception in spring and fall camp combined. He has not fumbled. He has not turned the ball over. He has not thrown interceptions. The garden variety BYU fans' inability to comprehend the fact that quarterbacks grow and develop, especially when, and I don't mean to be redundant, Jake Retzloff missed spring ball because of surgery, which impacted him through the summer, and he had no time to prepare. You brought in Keaton Slovis, you named him the starter, and then all of a sudden when you figured out Keaton was Keaton, you threw Jake in there, and he didn't know the offense. He didn't have command of the book. He didn't have command of the calls. And he still had them in position to win games.
Think about the Arkansas game last year, man.
And I think about the Oklahoma game. They had that game.
Yeah.
They had that game. And I just continue to say, BYU fan, get out of your negative space. Get out of your negative. You're projecting negative. Oh, Jerry Bohannon. If Jerry Bohannon wins this job, you are setting your program back. Jake Retzloff has the proven track record everywhere he's been from high school to junior college where he's excelled at a championship level. And he's shown you in spring, summer, and now fall ball that he's that guy. And I think he's going to win the job. I think the job is his. I think the job is Jake Retzloff's. I do. BYU can solve a lot of defensive problems by just being gap sound against the run.
Agreed.
In my opinion, Jay Hill has, and I love Ben Bywater. He's undersized. That's why he's out. That's why he's done.
Yeah, he was a safety trying to play linebacker, man.
And I think you're going to miss Max Tooley. I think you're seeing it with the Texans. Max Tooley was a really integral player on this team.
Instinctually, you just can't teach that.
But this defense is deeper and better and more able than it's been in the last 5 years. Jay Hill is the right guy to run this defense. Now you got to show me that you can tackle. And I agree. I think you have to be gap sound at the point of attack. You have to stop the run.
Yeah.
And I think they will. And you better find a way to pressure the quarterback because that was a real Achilles heel on this team last year as well. Consistently pressure the quarterback.
That's what I'm saying on both sides of the football. I think you're just going to see a different caliber of play. Like it may not necessarily be better like right out of the gate, but I do think that the offense should be better. The defense schematically should be way better, like leaps and bounds better. At least this year, you should be in the right scheme given the down and distance and where you're at in the game. Because I remember talking on the show last year, like there were multiple times last year where you were in like dime packages when you should have been playing straight up. And I don't really understand. Like that's why they needed to make that change. And that's where I say I agree with you. Like you should believe in Jay Hill and his ability, but at the same time, like, yeah, we need to see it.
You guys are emailing me takes now. What is this? The Jim Rome show? Don't email me. I'm not reading. No, bro. Comment section. I'm not reading your takes.
Wait, someone legitimately emailed you?
Yes, I'm not reading your takes. Now we come to the Oak State James dumb comment of the day. I thought BYU had contacts in Hawaii and they could constantly get big 320-pound island guys for their O-line. That's a serious question.
Okay, first of all,
so let me get this right. Congratulations, Mr. Stereotype. One. Two, why are you fat shaming Hawaiian people?
It's called the Polynesian community. Bruh.
And tell me you don't know anything about the state of Utah without telling me you don't know anything about the state of the Poly Pipeline is already here.
Yeah.
Do you know how many island bras are in Utah?
Tons.
Do you understand how fertile the recruiting ground in Utah is? They don't have to go to Hawaii. And do they have a foothold in Hawaii? They do. Through the church, they have a huge foothold. But you don't go to, man, where am I going to get an offensive lineman? Well, we better go get one of those fat fucks off the islands. That you really think that's the convert? You know, I need a 500-pound Polynesian. Where's that guy who's sings Somewhere Over the Rainbow?
Oh, he's probably at Mo Betta's.
Get
That's
him in here,
probably where
yeah.
he is.
Let's go recruit at Mo Betta's.
I'm for real.
Come on, bro.
What are you talking about? Do you understand? Put a second deck on Rice Eccles
Bro.
and everything's changed. You expand that place to 500,000 seats, and trust me when I say, you'll get to 1 million. Better hot dogs, too. Tell me you don't know anything.
Hey, you start talking shit
about Utah football without telling. Those island guys are fat. Dude, have you had the mac salad on the Big Island? I've had the mac salad.
Fat?
I understand cholesterol versus triglycerides. Trust
I'm a
me.
man.
Now, those fat fucks don't, but trust me, I do.
Now, you put those fat fucks on the offensive line, and you're going to be productive.
And you know the best part about comments like this? James is like, I meant no harm.
Dude, you haven't been the same since you rolled into the comments section 3 weeks ago talking about pederast priests in the book you're writing.
Look, I need to win this contest because I am doing research on the pedo factory known as the and there's a lot of books about pedo action on Amazon that I can't afford. That's kind of where things change for you, sir. With SIU as the first game, there's no advantage to not naming a starting quarterback and giving him first team reps. Just name the guy and move on.
That's what I'm saying, dude. Like,
and you know what I think they're going to do? They're going to split reps in that first game because we can't have, you guys, we can't, listen, let's just be honest. We cannot let anybody, and I mean anybody, know what we're doing. So, you know, we're going to pound the crap out of SUU.
My fucking ass.
Can you imagine? No, I'm not even going to play your stupid little game. We're going to pound the crap out of SUU. But I don't want to give SMU because, you know, we got.
sorry, bro.
James, can you say bless you to Jake, please? We can't let Preston Stone and his beautiful phallic symbol know what we're doing.
Macaque.
Because aren't they in Dallas? Because it says it on SMU.
Tarrant County.
Brandon Butler at BYU can't stop the run like last year. It's going to be a long season. Yes, it is. Sean Rollins gifted a Monty Show membership. Let's go. Slow on the draw. Oh, he's been a member for 6 months. Remember when the fire alarm was getting checked? Yeah, we do. Yes, I do.
Hey, guys, gotta come in. Gotta check the fire alarm, man.
Boyd Lake got an even bigger pipeline than Tonga. Let me tell you about the size. Them bros have big pipelines in Tonga.
You want to explain that?
You know what I mean? I know. Samoa, them boys are hung like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Mike Smith, the hottest sports take coming through the email. Yeah.
Is it a regular who emailed you?
Some guy named Brendan, who's upset that I keep disrespecting Michigan. I watch your show on the regular and I don't comment often. But your continued slander of the Michigan program is not only disrespectful, but it's wrong. You don't understand the culture that has been built inside the program, and it's wildly reckless for you to speak and believe that Michigan is going to, quote, backslide like TCU.
Doesn't get any more red, white, and blue than that.
Hey, bro, thanks for listening, dude. I appreciate you.
Way to go, Brendan. He made the show. I mean, have I slandered Michigan?
I don't think you slandered them. It's just truth.
Okay. Read that one. Force Ghost Fabio, Monty and James are low-key warring, and I'm here for it. It's not warring. It's just that James stereotypes everything. Man, Utah, if they had just put an upper deck on that student section.
Yeah, then you would have been able to see all those fat-ass Samoans on the offensive line.
Yeah, and you could afford more onions for the hot dogs because let's be honest, in Utah, you guys have that old rundown Rice Eclastasies Stadium. I mean, James just rolls in here and he's talking about putting an upper deck on. And before that, he's like, "Well, why don't they just put high back chairs in the?"
What's up, motherfuckers?
You're shorting the lead here, bro.
Okay, why doesn't God, Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior, give them the revenue they need to put high back chairs?
Yeah, and you know, if they would believe in Jesus Christ,
and so
we could put in some boxes.
I said to him, like that. You understand that the side of the field where the muss is, the student section, which is one of the best student sections in the country, they don't sit during the game. It's in fact a thing where they don't sit, they jump up and down and they actually, like cheer for the Utes. I know it's weird. So putting high back chairs doesn't really serve a purpose. Well, and James, correct me if I'm wrong. I think you even said, well, Monty, they got to have cup holders. No, they don't.
Monty.
No, they don't. They got to have
simple, so I don't know why motherfuckers be overcomplicating it.
Right? Like they don't need cup holders. No, they don't. Well, then just put an upper deck. No. Well, you could have skyboxes. They've got skyboxes already.
I'm going to do that.
We've got them already.
Oh, Monty. What about a larger parking lot? Can we compromise on that?
If they can get to, they could be Neyland Stadium. Get 500,000 fans in there.
No.
And I love James. Jeremiah Champion. Have a good day, y'all. You too, man. Always good to see you. It's friendly banter, not a big deal. No, we're just having, dude, it's entertainment. Gas station roller taquitos. Listen, if you would put that upper deck on there, you could put it right next to the bathroom, and then you could get real live culture bacteria to spread on the taquitos.
It does make it more flavorful. I've tested this theory, and I do have the data.
Jake told me.
I sifted through all that.
Sean Rollins, gas station glizzies. I'm here for it.
Yeah.
God, dude, I yesterday was so like, I'm going to Costco for lunch and getting a hot dog. Didn't do it.
Need that meat stick?
My life is unenjoyable. I hope most people know that. I had potatoes and ground turkey for lunch yesterday with chopped up carrots. Mike Smith, the Michigan email culture is out of control.
Seriously. Like, where do you even get our email? Like, I guess on the internet?
On the webs. Sean Rollins, Michigan fans drinking the same water as Hairball. That's what I'm saying. You going to make it over there?
No. Nope.
Boyd Lake, to some people, tell the truth equals slander. Right? Mike Smith, new West Virginia stadium will have recliners and holders in the chair the mason jars full of moonshine.
This stadium's going to be a full-on Cinemark football experience. We're going to have recliners and heaters and butt rubbers and everything.
And in Morgantown, they're going to have this section of the stadium where you get a free toothbrush and a bar of soap so you can clean coal. But boy, let me tell you something. Don't drop the soap in that part of the stadium, boy.
Wow.
Straight. If hell is real, I'm going straight there. James. Okay, here we go. Let me clear the air about CNS seats. Oak State makes money on CNS seats than all other seats together.
Can you clarify for me, what is CNS?
Let him go. He's rolling.
Okay.
If Utah adds 2,000 CNS seats, it equals more money. They've added them already. They're already there.
They did it.
Rice Eccles Stadium is beautiful. You're not adding a fucking second deck to block the view of the mountain.
Hey, look here, man.
Light the you son of a bitch. Like you're not blocking the mountain. It's like you hit the light turns on the mountain. Wow, we used to have this tradition.
Monty.
But we had to have more CNS seating. So up
Where
went
are
the
we
deck.
at in society today?
I mean, look at that thing. Look at that thing.
Monty, it does restrict the view of the mountain, but ultimately, it is more enjoyable to look at a bunch of metal and plastic than to look at that damn mountain.
CNS at its finest.
Yeah, CNS.
Straight to hell. Calford gives us $10. Tip Monty, courtesy of UCLA.
Yeah. CNS.
Anyway, we've got to get those kids sitting in high back chairs.
Marty, don't make me send you an email on this. I got a whole PDF deck built out.
Listen, over here in Stillwater, we got that oil money. And we also have a bunch of dudes that have hip replacements. They can't jump up and down like they do in the Muss, Monty. You know? They just want their Buc-ee's and a Bud Light. Oh, wait, Bud Light's taboo anymore. They just want their,
Pause, bro, pause.
Well, they want their Buc-ee's and a Modelo. No, that's Mexico, and border immigration can't do that either. We just want our Coors Light. And Buc-ee's.
We were saying that.
Buc-ee's barbecue sandwiches. James, I know what CNS means. I know what. Club and Suites. Yes, the End Zone Project looks at me. It's more than the End Zone. Looks amazing, but if you're going to pay out $20 million every year to the football team, you have to find more revenue.
James, dude, you're trolling now.
Have you ever been to Rice? Honest question. Have you ever been to Rice Eccles Stadium? I don't think you have. No. Chad Carter, source. I used to be in seminary like Oak State James, but I came to my senses and dropped out. That's slander. San Diego State Glenn, are you not entertained? Exactly.
Yeah, seriously.
James makes this show better for all. He does. He absolutely does. Giggity. Marty's patience with James has guaranteed himself a spot in heaven, maybe even sainthood. Well, Marty, listen. If we get some S&M seats in there, and specifically when I'm talking about S&M, sadomasochism seats at BYU, let me tell you something. The crowd would... can you imagine the crowd with some S&M? You know.
Marty.
I was reading this book about church pedos. And if we could incorporate that into the stadium, that'd be amazing.
Shut the fuck up, Donnie.
Maybe we can have some coin-op video machines at the seats, too. 21 times a month, bro.
Shut the fuck up, Donnie.
I'm a terrible person. Is there any pair more annoying than Feinbaum and Dinich, Monty and Jake? Marty and Jackie.
Marty and Jackie.
I like Heather Dinich. I think Heather, having worked at ESPN, you may know that or not. Now, oh, well, now here's Marty. Look at me. Heather Dinich is fantastic. Paul Feinbaum, he's a Q-tip that you should clean your ass with. That guy annoys me.
Why we have Feinbaum.
Steely Matt, Monty gonna get sick. Yeah, because we don't cover our mouth when we cough or sneeze. You know. Keith Carl, James and Marty really need to duke this out in a Canyons golf battle royale. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. You know, honestly, anything on the show, I've never met James. It's not personal. It's entertainment. It's fun. It's fun.
Okay, fuck you. How's that?
And when we show up in Baytown, Texas at Buc-ee's, you better be there, James. Welcome, sir. Your seat is in the leather and spikes section of the S&M seating. Yeah, now listen, there's that big spike on the seat. Easy does it. Okay, no jumping up and
down like that.
Yeah, well, you better. I mean, slow and steady wins the race.
Me?
You know what I mean? The bottom line at the University of Utah is they make plenty of money on their stadium. They do. Their tickets are always sold out and annoyingly expensive.
Mm-hmm.
Their hospitality is awesome. I continue to tell you, I think it is one of the best home field advantages in the country that nobody knows about. Undoubtedly. You did mention parking. If Utah could find a way to add another parking garage within walking distance of Rice Eccles, so this would add money. We have this little thing called tracks. I know now. I know. What are you? What are you, a Walmart shopper?
Yeah, come on.
Wow, Dad. Wow.
Public transportation.
We're too good for that here in Utah.
And let me tell you something. The tailgating at Utah is, again, elite.
Yeah.
There's the barbecue here. I'm telling you, well, Monty, you're not Buc-ee's. The barbecue in Utah is elite. Elite. Smoke and Bones Barbecue. Hello. Just look up Smoke and Bones Barbecue. Andy Blackwell, just in time. Jake's sick today. Go nice. What's up, guys? Not much. Does Michigan still schedule Appy State? Not anymore. Not anymore. Personal is Monty's West Lafayette comments. Yeah. Seriously. Boiler down. Trading Sam Ponder for Greeny. Nope.
Yeah, people haven't been real thrilled with the Ponder Greeny trade and the RG3 Lewis Riddick trade.
RG3 is not good at his job. Sam Ponder, I love how everybody's saying they got fired. They got laid off. And why they got laid off, that's a mystery that may never be known. But Sam Ponder is not a must-have. Let's stop getting emotional. Is Mike Greenberg I think there's an overexposure here. Right? You should have rehired Trey Wingo, is what you should have done.
Agreed.
But Greeny's your guy. That's your dude. That's the face of ESPN, Mike Greenberg. So, great barbecue in Utah. Sign me up. Yeah, absolutely. There's no doubt that it's fine. The acres U of U is getting from the old military fort will give them space for more parking at Eccles Stadium. It will. There's a lot of.
I mean, I do think generally speaking, I do think parking, just from a campus perspective, is an issue for Utah. They could definitely use in all jokes aside, they could probably use
Seriously.
like a 6 or 7 level parking garage to accommodate all the employees and all the people, and like they need something. But make no mistake about it, that Rice Eccles Stadium is an absolute gem, and it doesn't need anything else. What they need to do is play ball games, win ball games, and then have a college football playoff game or a huge game of consequence in that stadium.
The hour number 2 of the Monty Show, presented by our friends at Canyons Golf. Canyons Golf in Park City, the official golf resort of the Monty Show. The setting is gorgeous. I am spoiled. I am excited to get back up. And now I know this is crazy. We likely today will see our last 95-degree day. And I am hoping ever that's not going to happen. But the weather says that we're going to be in the 80s for the next foreseeable future.
Yeah, September's about to be gorgeous.
Our
here.
next push for the 90s, in the middle 90s, will likely be next spring, thankfully. Now, what does that mean if you are in beautiful Park City, Utah? Well, that means you're golfing in the 70s. And there's no more beautiful weather golf course than Park City Mountains Canyons Resort. Canyons Golf, Park City Mountain Resort. There is no better place to play golf in beautiful weather than Canyons Golf at Park City Mountain Resort. It is amazing. The way the ball flies, the views, the wildlife, just everything you want. It is pretty remarkable. The par 3s, unless you're me,
right.
Although
that's a great course.
Man, I had a par 3 last week, the 14th. Yeah, the 14th hole is a par 3 at Park City. I had a 54-degree wedge that when it was in the air, I thought it had a chance. And Marty's hitting little draws, and that ball was drawing. Unfortunately, it hit and spun backwards. If it had hit and gone forward,
might have had a chance.
Might have been seeing our first ever Monty Show hole-in-one, which I'm hoping to replicate this weekend. We'll see. Been working on those irons. Been working on them irons, boy. Isn't it funny how hard it is to be consistent as a golfer?
It is.
It is one of the most difficult things ever.
You have to have time to practice if you want to be consistent.
And how? And I will. I will swing it 50 times today. That's what I love about it. I'm telling you, don't play golf if you don't want to get addicted, because it is absolutely an addiction. Absolutely an addiction. Boyd Lake says the wildlife, the skeeters. No skeeters up at Park City Mountain. None.
There's deer, though.
There's deers. The
occasional
deers.
Moose.
You do. You see a lot of. That's one of the things I love about playing up at Canyons Golf is that, and when there's a little breeze, and there are some bugs around, sure, but you never get at Park City Mountain Resort. When it's a little breezy, it's perfect. Bugs are not an issue. Skeeters, flies, whatever, not an issue. When it's 70 and breezy up there, it is the best golf in the world. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. By the way, we are officially, speaking of golf, we are officially, hey Siri, how many days until November 23rd?
It's 94 days until then.
Fucking right. 94 days until Kapalua.
Boom.
94 days until we are in Hawaii. On Maui, playing golf. Cannot wait. That means in 2 days I can book my golf on Maui. Super stoked. Finish out the season at Canyons. Get on the range. I want to play really good golf in Hawaii. Like working the driver. Like I am super stoked. Really excited. That's why I spend so much time at Canyons Golf, Park City Mountain. Play yourself around a golf. Stay the weekend. Do a staycation. Stay overnight on a Friday night. Finish out your Friday at Park City Mountain Resort. Play 9 holes. One of my favorite things to do is be the last person on a golf course and just work on your 100-yard wedge shot. Work on it. Like when you have a 100-yard wedge shot, hit 10 of them into the green because there's nobody behind you. I love doing that. Go finish out your Friday night playing a couple of holes at Canyons Golf. Wake up the next day. Get like an 8:30 in the morning tee time at Canyons Golf. Perfect. Perfect. Play your golf there. Go have a world-class meal. Stay in a world-class resort. And you never have to leave the Canyons Village at Park City Mountain Resort. I love it. Make sure you tell them you heard about it on the Monty Show. What's going on with Tua Tagovailoa? Did you guys see this? I'm a little surprised that Tua went this route. Tua obviously is in a much better place. He's one of the highest paid quarterbacks in the history of the NFL. And he went on the Le Batard show and absolutely eviscerated Brian Flores.
Well, to put it in simplest terms, if you woke up every morning.
Ooh.
That's rough, bro.
Now, did Brian Flores deny that? He didn't. But it is, I see both sides of what we're hearing about this because we're also hearing that, well, Tua's soft. I agree that Tua's a little soft, especially mentally. Totally agree with that. But you can't do, if we take Tua Tagovailoa on face value, that Brian Flores told him daily how much he sucked and he didn't want him as his quarterback, I'm going to say that that's not how you raise a good football player. And I'm going to say that's not how you develop a quarterback. Because obviously the guy you have there now is doing the exact opposite and it's paying huge benefits. So I would just say, Brian Flores, what say you?
Specific to, the comments that were made by Tua, I just want to say, look, I'm happy, genuinely happy, genuinely happy for the success that Tua's had. And I really wish him nothing but the best. And I think, player relationships are very important to me. I think that's kind of the foundation of coaching. I got into coaching because, I was impacted as a young guy by my high school coaches, my college coaches, going all the way to Pop Warner. I got into coaching because I want to make that same kind of impact, positive impact, pour into young people, help them become, as KO says all the time, the best versions of themselves. And that's really my goal always in coaching. So I wish nothing but the best to Tua. Really more than anything, I'm just focused on the Vikings.
Didn't deny it. Handled it perfectly. Said everything he needed to say. But bro, that's rough. That's rough.
Yeah, I mean, I think when you look at this situation, I never believed that it's said every single day. I have a hard time believing Brian Flores would do that to somebody, but at the same time, if Tua feels that way and allegedly other guys felt that way, then yeah, there was probably something to that. And there was the whole lawsuit with Brian Flores and the Dolphins, and there was a bunch of drama. So Brian Flores was mixed up with it in Miami, and probably not somebody who's ready to be a head coach and manage personalities and do that. But more ready to be an OC, and more ready to be a guy who, is just worried about one position group, not necessarily the whole team.
Yeah, I think it is really interesting, frankly, that you have a guy in Brian Flores that is and it's just my opinion. You have a guy in Brian Flores that I think it's very interesting that he is not denying it. And I think he can't deny it because he knows it's true. And I'm very curious to see how that plays out. I'm very curious to see, because I don't think we've heard the last of this. I hope we have. But Tua is going to be asked about this now on a regular basis. And if Mike McDaniel is a completely different coach, I think it'll be interesting to see what he says.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like they're on the right track. It seems like, Tua and Mike are good.
Yeah. I think that Brian Flores is a hell of a coach. I think the Miami Dolphins situation was terrible. He's a lawsuit guy with the NFL. There's just all kinds of crazy stuff. I think you're right, Jim. If you love coaching for the mentorship, your young players, why aren't you in high school or college? Because you want to win at the highest level.
And you want to make money.
But it is undoubtedly a big part of coaching is mentorship and making men. And I think it's a huge part. It's why I detest Jim Harbaugh so much, because Jim Harbaugh does not make men. And unless you are an elite head coach in college, you're probably not making the money that you can make in the NFL.
Right.
I would agree with you on that. So I don't know. I just thought that was a little an interesting story. Mike Smith says, because it does not pay as well, UW fan Jim. Yeah. I think that's exactly right. What are the Dallas Cowboys doing?
Nothing good.
I mean, you're getting closer and closer to losing Micah Parsons. And you got to get the CD Lamb deal done. You probably should have done it last year. I say the same thing about Dak. I mean, a big change is coming to Dallas. And I don't know, if you don't do a CD Lamb deal, does he walk away? He won't. But you're going to do a CD Lamb deal. And you're probably going to pick the wrong horse here, because you ought to tie yourself to Dak Prescott and Micah Parsons, not CD Lamb.
Mm-hmm.
You can find wide receivers. And CD Lamb, as we've chronicled on this show, I don't believe that he's a championship caliber franchise level wide receiver. He's not. And I think some of these wide receivers like Jamar Chase, I think is going about this the complete wrong way. I think that CD Lamb, sure, you want to hold out now? Okay, great. I would not pay him. I would trade him. I would rather have Brandon Ayuk than I would rather have CD Lamb.
Well, and I think the hard part is for Dallas, if CD Lamb were to hit the open market, he'd obviously get paid. He's one of the best receivers in the league. And so it's this whole thing where I just don't understand what Jerry's trying to do. I don't understand why you would say you're going all in and then refuse to pay these guys. It just makes zero sense. And again, it's what Jerry's done over the years, where he doesn't want to pay guys, and he's a billionaire that just doesn't want to invest. And that's what I don't understand. Yes, you had some significant injuries with Trayvon Diggs on the defense last year, and that really hurt you in the back end, and you paid the price for that in the playoffs. But, I think Lamb is someone who you need. I mean, I right on its face, I mean, I don't think anyone can name another wide receiver in that room. Lamb is kind of the leader there. And so you look at the Dallas Cowboys, and I just say, hey, man, like, you're going to have to prove that you can be anything other than a 10-win regular season team, a 13-win regular season team, and then flame out in the playoffs. Like, that's who you've become. And it's a combination of things, but I can tell you, I'd rather be 13 wins and lose in the playoffs every year than 5 wins and not pay any of these guys. That's what I don't think Jerry appreciates.
Yeah, I'm going to be interested. I'm going to be interested to see exactly where Dallas ends up, because they have enough talent to compete. They're not a Super Bowl team, not in the NFC, in my opinion. But I think you also are in a very different place than the 49ers with Brandon Ayuk. I mean, the 49ers don't have to have Brandon Ayuk. They want to, and I think that deal is all but done. I don't know what happens with CeeDee Lamb. They're not trying to trade him. He hasn't demanded a trade. I think you'd be a fool to leave Dallas at this moment. But I think that's a no-win situation. I truly do. I think if you sign CeeDee Lamb, you're going to lose either Dak or Micah Parsons.
And it's going to be Micah.
I don't know how you let... I think he's the best defensive player in the NFL. I truly believe that. Micah Parsons is a dominant player who dominates snap in and snap out. And I think it's going to be very difficult for you to sign all three of those guys because you've just been so bad with cap management. So what do you do here? You can't tag Dak. You're going to let him test the market? You're a fool.
Yeah,
you're a fool.
He's not testing the market. He's getting paid. So
yeah. Mike Smith, if you know the Cowboys, it's not Jerry with the money. It's his son, Steven. And he lets Steven do that now. I think Jerry has final say on everything. I think Jerry's more of a businessman than he is a football man. I think Jerry Jones is an elite franchise builder who makes a ton of money but doesn't win big games.
Mm-hmm.
And ultimately this year, Mike McCarthy probably takes the fall. But is it Mike McCarthy's fault or Jerry's fault? Because I think he's made Dak a better quarterback. I think he's made CeeDee Lamb a pretty good wide receiver in the regular season. I don't know if CeeDee has the balls for the big time, but we'll see. Brandon Cooks is still there. I mean, they have, look, I'm not questioning, but is Brandon Cooks an elite wide receiver?
Not elite. He's definitely complimentary.
I don't think, and look, this is just me. When you look at their wide receiver room, CeeDee Lamb, Jalen Brooks, Brandon Cooks, Kamonte Turpin, Jalen Tolbert, I don't think you have another guy that's even close. I don't. And frankly, you look at running backs on this team, Zeke, Rico Dowdell, I don't, Royce Freeman. You're thin. You're not deep at the skill positions. And I also worry a little bit about, I think the defense is going to be fine. I worry a little bit. That offense, they're gonna have some struggles. You're gonna blame it on Dak. And yeah, we'll see.
Pretty much.
We'll see. But Monty, there's no urgency in Dallas, but there is. They're all in. Guys are missed, but they aren't. Can we get welfare checks on Jerry? Too much salt on your McGriddle.
100%.
You know. Mike Smith, Jerry has done double speak for years. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Whoa. Welcome to the nightmare. I think you are likely to find another CD. You are likely to find another CD receiver. You can't say that about Micah Parsons. No,
agreed completely.
But when coaches told us we will never amount to anything, we were young. Tua was a professional. I don't believe that's what you tell your starting quarterback at the pro level. Even Belichick knew that. Well, the problem for Tua is there's a stigma around his concussions and his ability to stay healthy, and they just paid him an enormous contract. And if Brian Flores didn't want him as his starting quarterback, I don't think you go nuclear winter on the guy and tell him he sucks every day. And I thought the most interesting part of Tua's comments were that he said other players felt the same way. Maybe Brian Flores isn't a head coach. He's a hell of a defensive coordinator.
Yeah.
You know. Jerry with a G Jones. See what I did there? See what I did?
The Jerry and Jerry. I see what you did there, dude.
Bohannon.
Yeah.
Runs the Cowboys on emotion. It's his Achilles heel. Could be. Yeah. Calford. My Niners will be in New Orleans February 9th. But will they win or will they be more of the same? I'm worried about CMC. Brock Purdy's not the same quarterback without him. I think you are going to have Ayuk. I think you're going to be fine. You better have CMC, and he better be there on the regular. Just saying.
Yeah. Have to.
San Diego State Glenn, I hear you, Jake, but Jerry has the memory of the sweet taste of multiple Super Bowl victories in his mouth.
Yeah, but how long ago?
Winning 13 games and losing in the playoffs is not good enough for him.
But again, let me be the red ass here. When was the last time the Dallas Cowboys won a Super Bowl?
When's the last time they were really, really elite?
Like,
they were good last year.
Yeah, but
you had Dak throw a pass to CeeDee Lamb that hit him in the hands.
They're never bad.
And he dropped it.
In my time watching football, I think I've only seen the Cowboys have like less than 10 wins only a couple times. I'd have to go and look at the numbers, but the Cowboys are not an organization that is like just terrible, just awful, like 4-win team. That's not who they are. But the problem is that, that might be true that Jerry, wants to win again and has a taste of Super Bowls in his mouth and all that. But the reality is you haven't been a good playoff team. You haven't been what you needed to be. And I do tend to agree that a lot of that is on Lamb. I think Micah's had huge playoff runs and made big plays. I think Dak has had some good and some bad. He's been a little inconsistent.
Are we still doubting whether Dak Prescott's an elite quarterback?
I don't doubt it. I think the question that I've kind of migrated to is, hey, if Dak's on the 49ers, you're telling me that they're worse for all the Dak haters? You're telling me that if Dak is on the Chiefs, that they're worse? Okay, well, it's Patty. Okay, fine. I'll give that to you. You're telling me that if Dak Prescott was a New York Giant, they'd be as bad as they are now?
No.
Come on, bro. Come on.
Dak Prescott, and I'll continue to say, Dak Prescott's better than Jared Goff. Dak Prescott's better than Tua Tagovailoa. Dak Prescott's better than Trevor Lawrence.
Yep.
You put Dak Prescott on the New York Giants, they're a better football team. You put Dak Prescott on just about any other organization that footballs the way you should football, you're a better team. Is he better in Carolina? No. Is he better in Chicago? No.
San Diego? It's close. But I think
it's
that's
a big year for Justin Herbert. Are the Dallas Cowboys better with Justin Herbert? They're not. Are they better with Patrick Mahomes? They're not. Because you don't have the cap management and the offensive depth to be the 49ers. Are the San Francisco 49ers better with Dak Prescott?
Yes.
I think they are. I like Brock Purdy, but I think Brock Purdy is the beneficiary of an elite offensive system that's got depth. I think Mike McCarthy is a really good offensive coach. He's got no depth. He's trying to make a stew without the right ingredients. Like you can spin this any way you want, but there are very clear lines of demarcation in the NFL. You have to have really good linebackers. You have to have really good D-line play, in my opinion, and you have to be able to rush the quarterback. On the other side of the ball, you have to have elite quarterback play, and you better have depth at skill positions. Because what did we learn about the Chiefs last year? They teetered on disaster because of Kadarius Toney. And they missed Tyreek Hill. And what did they do? They went out and addressed that. Right? You have in San Francisco, you've got a dearth of talent, which is why you're NFC champions. But you've got to keep guys healthy. I look at who's the worst team in the NFL. I think it's Carolina. You don't have talent, you don't have coaching, and you don't have ownership. Next. New York Jets. Talent for days. Bad ownership, bad coaching. Playing in the Chicago Bears. Now you've got talent. Now you've got a quarterback. Now you've got management. Is Ebersuck's a good head coach? We're going to find out.
Mm-hmm.
Do we ever say his name correctly on this show again? Probably not.
No.
Because he's going to stand in the way of them winning, in my opinion. Right? And again, I would just point out the two best teams in the NFL last year were led by offensive geniuses. What's wrong with the Buffalo Bills? Great defense you got there, kid. You're not developing the quarterback. You're trading your best wide receiver. Right? What's wrong with the Jets? I think you have a defensive head coach. You have a quarterback that said he was going to run the team and he got hurt in the first 12 seconds of the season. And then you fell apart because you had no depth and you had a mutiny and you didn't fire the head coach. So you're in the exact same situation. Aaron Rodgers stay healthy, they're probably a playoff team.
Eagles.
What's the difference with the Baltimore Ravens? Eagles in a minute. What's wrong with the Baltimore Ravens?
Don't have a quarterback.
You're built around a quarterback who can't throw you to a championship. And your head coach is a defensive juggernaut. Great defense, mid offense. What's wrong with the Philadelphia Eagles? You have no leadership. You had a mutiny on the team last year, and you didn't fire the head coach when there were better options available. You didn't fire the head coach.
Which is shocking because the Eagle job is highly desirable.
What was wrong with the San Diego we play in Los Angeles borrowing space from the Rams? Chargers. They didn't have a good head coach, and the quarterback was stunted, and they couldn't protect him. Fired the head coach, brought in a whole new staff, upgraded the offensive line, and the quarterback needs to have an elite season. And by the way, he returned from injury ahead of schedule. So it's not rocket science. The Dallas Cowboys have an elite offensive mind as their head coach, which is why their quarterback, I think, plays at a very high level. What's the issue? Your owner and your management team suck. That's the issue. They don't manage the cap well. We are constantly in this same conversation with the Dallas Cowboys.
All the time.
Year in and year out. And that fan base deserves better. The Dallas Cowboy fan base deserves better. And I don't know that you ever get better because the Jones family is going to own that thing for 2 generations at least. At least. So we'll see. Anyway, Calford, I'm sure it doesn't help Dak any hearing all the hate from Dallas fans. And I say this about sports fans as well. Watch what you wish for. You could be, who's the worst team in baseball? The Chicago White Sox. You could be the Chicago White Sox.
Could be the Raiders.
But again, the Raiders at least try. The Raiders at least don't. Mark Davis doesn't think he's the best owner in football. Fucking fired his head coach like he should have. Now, I'm not a believer in hiring the coach your players want in Antonio Pierce, and I still don't believe you have a quarterback or an offense. And Devontae's not going to be there. But they at least try things. They don't believe that their doesn't stink.
Right.
That's the problem in Dallas. Jerry Jones, I believe it's his ego. I think that's the problem in Dallas.
Yeah, I agree. 100%.
So, Dak is second shelf single malt whiskey. Is he top shelf? No. But there's only 4 or 5 QBs who sit on the top shelf. Who's better than Dak Prescott? Patrick Mahomes.
I would say, well, right now you can't say Joe Burrow's better, but I would say Joe Burrow at his peak is better.
I think it is very difficult to look. I think it's difficult to find 3 quarterbacks that are better. Now, would you rather have Dak Prescott or Tua Tagovailoa? Because Tua, Let's not forget that Tua threw for 4,600 yards and 29 touchdowns.
Yeah, but Dak's doing that same thing. Dak's in that same neighborhood.
If you look at statistics, Jared Goff or Dak Prescott? I mean, Dak Prescott last year had an MVP caliber season. 4,500 yards, 36 touchdowns, 9 interceptions.
What's Jared Goff got?
Jared Goff has 4,500 yards, 30 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. Sacked 10 less times.
A couple more interceptions, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think
I'd take Dak Prescott over Jared Goff every single day.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think, the hard thing for Dak, too, I feel like, is that offense changes a lot. Like, you look at great offenses around the league, and, like, in San Francisco, that scheme stays the same. You know what to expect. But I feel like, y'all remember that year they had where it was Zeke and the offensive line just running them to the playoffs. And then it all changed, and the offensive line sucked, and Zeke got traded. And then now it's the Dak show and everybody else. And so I think that's part of why
I think
Dak
it's
gets some hate.
It's based on the hand that Mike McCarthy's dealt, though. I think there's no denying that Dak Prescott had an elite season last year. I don't believe he was the reason they lost in the playoffs. Josh Allen or Dak Prescott? Well, everybody's going to say Josh Allen, but why don't we talk about the interceptions he throws?
I was going to say, yeah, you have to talk about the turnovers.
Why don't we talk?
And I would even go a step further and say turnovers in huge moments.
Why are we not talking about the fact that his yards per game are 15 yards less per game than Dak Prescott? 18 turnovers, 18 interceptions. Oh, but Monty, all Dak does is choke in the playoffs and throw interceptions. What about Josh Allen? Nobody talks about that. Why does nobody talk about the fact that Dak Prescott had significantly better numbers than Brock Purdy had? Oh, but Brocktober, and he's the bet because he's on a better team. He's on the San Francisco 49ers. And is Brock Purdy one of the reasons they win? Yes. But I'm telling you.
I also think Josh Allen gets a pretty big pass, generally speaking, because he runs into Mahomes and the Chiefs every year. And I'm saying, hey, that's cool. They're the best team in the league right now. I get that. But don't you at some point have to make an adjustment, try to find another way around to beat them? Like if you're running into them every year, you would think that at some point there would be some type of adjustment in scheme or how you're going about attacking them to win that game.
Yes.
And that's where I say I'm not so sure that Josh should get a free pass for that. And I don't know that the Bills as an organization should get a free pass for that. I think Josh Allen's capable of being an MVP in the league, but you're not going to be an MVP when you turn it over the way he does. When your relationship with Stephon Diggs broke down the way it did, mainly because Diggs couldn't catch anything, and you've just had some turmoil. So
that's funny. You can catch a cold, but he can't.
No.
CJ Stroud or Dak Prescott? Well, right now I'd take Dak because I need it more. CJ Stroud's had 1 year in the league.
And he's a sweetheart story.
1 year in the league. Now, I don't expect CJ Stroud to regress. In fact, I would assume he gets better, not worse. Dak has to start winning in the playoffs, but he's also got to be given the same tools as the other elite guys. If we're going to judge him below, he's not Patrick Mahomes. But to your point, Joe Burrow is one of those guys that everybody is like, oh, he's amazing.
Now he's got to prove it again.
I would take Dak Prescott over Joe Burrow today. I would take Dak Prescott.
Yeah.
It makes more sense. I agree. He's got to reprove himself in Cincinnati. Yeah, exactly my point. Better I would say Pat Mahomes, Joe Burrow, and Josh Allen. I am not taking Josh Allen over Dak Prescott or any other quarterback right now.
Yeah.
I think Josh Allen's a good quarterback.
He takes too much risk. That's my issue with Josh Allen.
Turns ball over too much.
He doesn't value possession.
Yeah, big blue horses. In no order, Mahomes, Burrow, Allen, Jackson, Herbert. There's 5. Lamar Jackson is not a better quarterback than Dak Prescott. Go look at the numbers. Go look at the passing numbers, the efficiency numbers. Lamar Jackson has had multiple opportunities to throw that team to a Super Bowl championship, and he cannot do it. He can't do it.
And I would also add to what you were saying earlier, the Ravens always have one of the best defenses in the league. Always.
I don't know how you guys are riding with Burrow and Allen, in my opinion. I'm not saying you're wrong.
Burrow, I can kind of understand because he's shown you what he's capable of. He's shown you that level of dominance. But Josh Allen, I can't get down with Josh Allen's better than Dak because of all the turnovers and the nature with which those turnovers happened. If
he's got Jamar Chase.
Yeah, I mean, if you watch the Josh Allen turnovers when Stephon Diggs was on the team, those were bad turnovers, bro. Like underthrown, overthrown, like
inexplicable turnovers.
And hey, I'll meet you in the middle. Hey, Gabe Vincent not being able to catch anything in the end zone. Stephon Diggs dropping a ball right in the breadbasket. Like Josh Allen is a good quarterback. I'm not saying he sucks. He's a very good quarterback. But the difference is if you actually watch those games, the Dak turnovers a lot of times were not on him. They would hit dudes in the hands. Like it would go through the guy's hands, hit him in the helmet.
Showed you last year that he's not a turnover guy.
Yeah, and Josh has shown us regularly that he is. Now,
but he's going in the wrong direction as well.
Yeah, and Joe, I think for Joe, it's just a matter of, hey, can you stay healthy? And if he can stay healthy, he's going to be fine. Absolutely, he'll be fine.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, Dak's got to win in the postseason. It's as simple as that. And they're not set up to. They're not a postseason team. They're not a postseason team. All right, let's shift gears. Target or Walmart? Did you guys see the sales numbers for Target through the roof? Now, I think if you're a dirty vagrant, you're going to big box stores like Target.
Cashless.
I think Target sucks. I think Target is one of those stores where you shop there so you can say you shop at Target. Because anything you get at Target, you can get it at Amazon. On Amazon. There's no reason to go to Target or Walmart. There's not. I think people go to Target because that's what soccer moms do. They pull up in their minivan. They go and they look at their, oh, well, look, there's a Starbucks. Let me get my Frappuccino Mocha Venti Latte Pumpkin Spice Chernobyl drink and go walk around and spend a ton of money at Target.
Yep.
I think that's why people like shopping at Target.
100%. Yeah, they go for the experience. And it went around social media that you can get free refills at Starbucks in Target if you go and buy a drink there, you can come back and get a free refill. So Target absolutely wants you to go to Starbucks and walk around and enjoy the place.
And I think Walmart is what Walmart is. I'm good. Never again. Ever. Even if there's a fire. Never.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think that Target's done a great job positioning themselves as like a nicer Walmart. Really.
But you're a Target fan.
Yeah, I don't mind Target. I'm not somebody who's like, man, I can't wait to go to Target. I would rather go to Target than Walmart, though. I can tell you that.
Well, that's like saying you'd rather be shot than hit by a truck. Like, okay, cool.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, I'm not interested in going to Target on a Saturday when all the kids are there and just going ham running through the store. Like, if I'm going to Target, I'm going to do it earlier in the morning when no one's there. Get in, get out, that type of deal.
Target released numbers that says its full year profit forecast and reported its first increase in quarterly comparable sales in over a year. Shares rose 11% in pre-market. The 2024 profit is in the range of $9 to $9.70 a share, up over $1.10. Target's impressive numbers reported last week, and then Walmart said its second quarter comparable sales rose 4.2%. In February, Target introduced a new private label basics line called Deal Worthy with over 400 items under $10, and they say it's made a huge difference.
Yep.
First of all, again, I just tell you, those of you riding on the economy sucks in recession, and okay, good luck. Because
there's just nothing that says that the economy is struggling. There's just not.
There's not. And this jobs redefinition that may come down where, okay, great. There's nothing that says people are not out spending money. It'd be nice if we could get people to buy and sell homes. That'd be great. But I think that you look at fast food, you look at retail now with Target and Walmart, you look at the way people are traveling, you look at flights are expensive because they're packed and full. Like, you look at where money's being spent. Trust me when I tell you, it's almost impossible in this town to get a tea time.
Yeah.
It's almost impossible to find rooms over the holiday season in Hawaii. It's really difficult.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that there's legitimately anything that supports that people don't have money. I think everything supports that. Hey, people have money. They're just unwilling to move on the real estate market because of the current conditions, and that's why when things like Target's earnings report comes out or whatever, and they're doing really well, I'm not surprised by that.
Not at all.
I'm not surprised, like what you were just saying, right? Like, hey, it's hard to get a room over the holiday season in Maui or any other destination. It's hard to get a tea time because people are, spending their money. And like, I think that, I would be really curious, not that we have the data available to us, but I'd be really curious to see of the generations who's spending the most right now. If it's still a thing where Gen X is spending a lot, or if it's millennials powering things.
But where is one of Target's biggest gains? 9% increase in online sales. What categories are powering their earnings? Fashion and home goods.
Yeah.
Are powering their earnings.
You remember Chip and Joanna Gaines?
Yes.
Target has a partnership with Chip and Joanna Gaines where they have a section of the store that is like, like designed by Chip and Joanna, and like it's this whole thing. So it doesn't surprise me. Yeah, exactly. It doesn't surprise me to hear that that's doing well for them.
More than 50% of Target's annual sales come from discretionary items like toys, fashion, and electronics.
Mm-hmm.
That had become problematic with American laser focused on necessities like groceries after a run-up in inflation during the pandemic. Target said this spring that it would cut prices on thousands of things ranging from diapers to milk. And they are also saying that their paid membership program called Target Circle, which comes with unlimited free same-day delivery. The annual $99 membership is getting strong reception, more than 2 million memberships in the second quarter alone.
Yeah. Yep.
I'm telling you, people don't want to go to Target. They want to shop at Target, which is fine. Knock yourself out. Knock yourself out.
I think there are still a lot of people who like walking through Target, though. I mean, I do.
Yeah. But here's what I would tell you. Look at this story from Fox Business.
Yeah.
The best value menu items. And this story is dated 2 days ago. Look at the value menus in fast food. Do you think fast food is listening to consumer sentiment? Taco Bell Luxe Craving Box, a $7 combo that includes chalupas, beefy 5-layer burritos, double stacked tacos, chips, and nacho sauce. Wendy's has their $5 biggie bag, which is quote unquote booming. Comes with the choice of a crispy chicken sandwich or junior cheeseburger with 4-piece chicken nuggets, fries, and a small drink, or a small Frosty. McDonald's, who is struggling, $5 meals, which are 4-piece nuggets, small fries, and a small drink. You can get a McChicken or a McDouble. Like Pizza Hut, My Hut box. Burger King's $5 Your Way meal. Like, people are not stupid. People are not stupid.
Nope.
And
they're
I
not
think
going to overpay.
I think that our reaction to, I think we spent $72 on 3 people at Taco Bell like 2 years ago, have never gone back.
Yeah.
Never gone back. I think it is amazing.
Well, you remember that conversation we had where we were talking about that Taco Bell used to be a thing where you would go there after school. I remember doing this when I was in high school in the Bay Area. We would go to this Taco Bell after I was done with school. We would get a whole bunch of stuff, tacos, whatever, burritos, chalupas, Mexican pizza, all the good stuff. And that would be like a $20 proposition. And you could get more food than you would ever be able to eat. And then that changed during the pandemic. And so I think that the issue is that people have said, hey, like, I like eating fast food, but I'm not willing to overpay for it. If you're going to make me pay the same price that I can pay at the store for a more quality meal, I'm going to have the quality meal.
And now that grocery prices are back in line, it's what I say in this show every day. I don't eat out. We pretty much never eat out. I made a restaurant reservation the other night for the first time in, I don't know how long, months.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I never eat out. Probably once or twice, maybe 3 times a month. And it's usually like Corner Bakery for a sandwich. So I think grocery prices, obviously the CPIs come to, I mean, what were the highs? 9%.
Yeah.
Now we're at 2.9. Like, you're looking at prices coming down. I think that's the overall message. I mean, we're under 3% inflation, which I think is significant because people are spending money, and you're starting to see that consumer sentiment is in line now. It'll be interesting to see how it all plays out. Steve Stepanek says, I'm not a Taco Bell fan. Oh, Del Taco's better.
Yeah, no question.
Del Taco's better. For sure. San Diego State Glenn, 4 chicken nuggets. Do you think I'm stupid? Not good enough. For $5 with fries and a drink, I think that's what our expectation should be now. You know, for me anyway. San Diego State Glenn, run for the border. I mean bathroom. Hey, look, I'm a Taco Bell fan. The Mexican pizza at Taco Bell, elite. I'm not willing to pay $39.50 for a Mexican pizza from Taco Bell.
Nope.
I think that might be a little high. Peace out, all. Go Gators. See you, big blue horses. Talk to you soon. You know, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how it all plays out. Oscar Manji, take Mrs. Monty out, Monty. She doesn't want to go out. You think I'm being cheap? I'm not. It's not only that fast food is expensive, it's not as good as it used to be.
And it's certainly not as good as what you'll make at home.
And it's not good for you. That's the biggest issue. Like, we're on kind of a health run here the last several months. And again, I'll be honest with you, eating at home is boring. I had ground turkey and potatoes and carrots for lunch yesterday is boring.
Right.
But it's healthy.
Baked carrots?
Yes.
Oh,
It's healthy. It's boring as hell. We were talking yesterday. You know what my excitement is for meal prep next week? Salads. We've been buying this bag of four heads of lettuce. I can't remember what kind of lettuce it is. I don't recall, but romaine, I think it might be, from Costco. She chops it up and puts it in one of those salad spinner things. You meal prep some turkey, throw some turkey on there, and put some ranch dressing or Italian Ken's dressing on there. Dude, cooking with gas takes 5 minutes, and it's a third of the cost, and it's way healthier for you.
Yes.
Way healthier.
And you don't regret eating it.
No, you don't feel like ass.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be really interesting to see how all of this plays out. Because and I think we're seeing it now. At some point, fast food, Yum Brands and McDonald's specifically, are coming back to the middle now, because it's too hard to compete. It is, and especially when you have, I know the people that check me out at Harmon's. I walk into my local grocery store. I know those people. I like those people. Like, we told this story on the show. I think it was a Wendy's or a Burger King or something last year up in Park City.
Yeah, last summer.
And the guy's like, yeah, you might want to leave. We're really busy right now. And there was like nobody in the drive-thru. And he's like, yeah, we're understaffed. You might want to go somewhere. The guy literally said, you might want to go somewhere else. So we did. Like, it's crazy to me. It's crazy to me. Mike Phillips, eating at home doesn't have to be boring. Oh, it doesn't. And it's when you meal prep during the week. Like, my lunch is pretty boring, dude. I'll be honest with you. Like, I'll have ground turkey and something.
Yeah.
I'll have chicken breast shredded up in something. But it doesn't need to be exciting. I had Impossible Nuggets for dinner last night with ketchup. It doesn't have to be exciting. I've eaten exciting, and it's why I'm fat. Going to lunch yesterday. What was my lunch yesterday? I went to the gym, came home, made some ground turkey, potatoes, and carrots.
Do you even lift?
Had a protein bar. It's my lunch. You know. Lopes fan Gabe, hit the like button, everybody. Lopes fan always reminds us. Fast food isn't good and the service is awful. Yes, it is. I'd rather spend my $5 on a bag of frozen chicken nuggets and just toss them in the oven.
Mm-hmm. Or the air fryer.
Do you guys understand? I can go to Costco. I can get all the food. Because I generally don't go to the store during the week. I grocery shop on the weekend. I can get a bag of Impossible Nuggets. I can put it in the air fryer for 12 minutes. I can microwave a bag of sweet corn or make a salad. And by the time I'm done making the salad or the sweet corn, the nuggets are done. Put them on a plate. It's healthy and it tastes good.
My favorite food is chicken tendies and fries.
Now, if that sweet corn didn't bore out my butthole, I'd probably eat it every day.
Stop being a pussy.
But I love, you give me a bag of frozen vegetables and some kind of protein and I'm good to go. Give me a little butter and salt on that corn. And now I use like oat milk butter. I'm boring.
I thought you said you use oat milk
or
butter.
Plant-based butter or whatever the hell it is.
Impossible butter.
Dude. But again, you guys always like, you're fat, Monty. Okay, but I'm healthier than you. And why am I healthier than you? Because I use plant-based butter on my sweet corn that cores my butthole out while I'm eating Impossible Nuggets with ketchup.
Yeah.
It's because I don't go to Taco Bell. I don't go to McDonald's or Wendy's or any JCWs, or I eat meat sparingly. I never eat red meat. I'm going to Ruth's Chris next week or whatever. I'll probably have a filet or a strip for the first time in how long? Sorry, did we wake you up? You know. Craig, Costco microwave popcorn is top notch, and it's terrible for you. It's terrible for you. Terrible. Hot sauce, Monty.
Taco Bell hot sauce is actually really good.
I'm Caucasian. It can make bland food taste so much better. Hot sauce was a must-have when eating MREs in the military.
But see, the thing is, like, not all hot sauce is actually like hot. It's just a sauce.
Right. Like when we order Beto's burritos, I eat the green salsa, and I actually like it. I like it. That's you want to know when we eat it? Once a week, I order a breakfast burrito from Beto's in West Jordan.
Yeah.
That's my excitement for the week.
It is good.
It is. I'll occasionally go to Cafe Rio, but their beans are greasy, so I hate it. I'm trying to think where we eat out when we eat out. I told you when we went to the orchestra the other week, we went to that Seven Brothers place. That sucked ass. And it was super expensive.
Jersey Mike's?
Haven't been to Jersey Mike's in I don't know how long. I go to the flipping Corner Bakery and I get their turkey cranberry sandwich on sourdough.
Yeah.
No mayo. My wife gets the veggie sandwich, Swiss instead of provolone. That's our excitement. We'll go to Protein Foundry and get avocado toast or a protein shake. Like, it's just not worth it anymore. It just is not.
No, the value proposition's out there anymore.
It's not worth it anymore. It just is not worth it anymore. You know? Ted Adams, so that 2.9% doesn't speak to the real issue. What do you mean?
What do you mean, bro?
I think with the economy.
He's got another comment right there, right above.
By the way, 2.9% inflation is a measure of cost of goods last year at this time versus this year. Correct. So last year, hamburger was $4.95 a pound. This year, it's $5. Cost. Listen, the bottom line is, and people love to get in the weeds on this shit. Here's the bottom line. And take it at face value. I study the economy every single day. I look at the numbers. I look at the CPIs. I look at inflation. I look at the cost of goods. I have no life. I get alerts from Google about food cost and grain cost and imports and tariffs. And the bottom line is, from a year ago to today, it costs you less money to go to the grocery store. Does that mean it's cheap to go to the grocery store? It does not. But we got to stop spinning the story that we're in a recession and the world's ending, because we're not, and it's not. Our single biggest problem with the economy is we are not buying and selling homes. Notice what's happened in the real estate market, in case you don't. Inventory is way up. But why are sales way down? Because people still want $1 million for a $100,000 house. It is what it is. You look at Florida. Florida currently is in a situation where you are pricing people out of what used to be affordable housing. And why is that? Because we're building fucking $700,000 houses that people can't afford to buy. So we're in this belief that we need new builds, new housing. Don't disagree with that. The problem is we don't need new mansions. We need affordable housing. We need new starter, affordable, millennial can afford it house. Because that's going to normalize the real estate market. So when we talk about, is stuff expensive? Is gas? Donald Trump keeps saying gas is historically expensive. Is it? Not close. He keeps saying that if he were in office, gas would be $1.70 a gallon. That's impossible. It's not physically possible to have $1.70 gas. That would put the American oil industry out of business. I know people don't care about that. I know you don't go and look at it and research it. If gas is if gas is $1.72, because right now, what is it? Let's call it $3.40. If gas is $1.70, American oil companies are out of business. They're out of business. They cannot afford to operate. You cannot afford the work, the damage it would do to the gas and oil industry employee is catastrophic. Catastrophic. You could not afford it. And I want people to grasp this concept. You don't understand what truly is impacting your pocketbook. I don't think most people understand it. I truly do not. I think that when you look at the cost of gas, you don't understand what goes into the cost of gas. The human expense and do you understand how many oil and gas jobs we lost when the OPEC deal came down? That's something that you, as the average American, get your ass in the books and read about what truly is impacting the price of gas and why we are. Because one of the things, are we energy independent? I think it's an overstatement to say we're energy independent. We're not energy. We are oil independent. We are exporting more oil than we are bringing in. We are actually positive on exports in oil. But it is this thing where you cannot continue to believe that we're going to have $1.70 gas. That's a fucking pipe dream, dude. That's not going to happen. Because you either, if you believe that, you either don't know or you don't understand. Like, the national debt is a very interesting conversation. We are in the debt position that we are in because of the pandemic, the Trump era tax laws. And when I say pandemic, things like stimuluses and our tax code. That's why we are in debt the way that our national debt is. We are pumping more oil and we are selling more oil to pay down the national debt. But all you want to hear about is, oh, well, the national debt's out of control. The national debt is justifiably higher than it was 5 years ago because we had a pandemic. And we were paying Americans to keep their light bills on. It's not a political issue. We talked about the people lost their minds. Donald Trump did not do a stimulus. Okay, if that's what you want to believe. Because, again, we have this political division in our country where we're telling people that Joe Biden invented stimulus. No, he did not. Joe Biden didn't invent dick. Who wrote the first stimulus checks? Donald Trump. Remember when he was talking about his autograph on everybody gets a free autograph? It turns out that autograph wasn't free. Did Joe Biden do more stimulus? Yes. It's the right thing to do at the time. Is Donald Trump a villain? No. But let's not paint this picture that Joe Biden's the reason the debt is through the roof. Because I'm tired. I heard that yesterday. I did a TikTok live stream yesterday about this exact topic. And do you know how many conservatives believe that Joe Biden is the only president that did stimulus checks? It's remarkable that you can go and look at that shit. It's just do a Google search. It's on the internet. So many people believe that Joe Biden's the only president who did stimulus checks.
And that's the exact problem. Whether it's that or anything else.
It's wild to me.
They're just taking it hook, line, and sinker.
It's wild to me. I hope people understand that the pandemic made people do things that you wouldn't. Would you normally do a stimulus? No. Right? But you can't help but look at Donald Trump's tax code. We're spending money on that tax code. There's no question about that. When rich people pay less tax, the national debt goes up. National debt. Why did Donald Trump sign legislation mandating for Joe Biden to sell oil out of the strategic oil reserve? Part of it is to pay down the national debt, to offset the tax code. But what do people yesterday in my live feed say? Well, Joe Biden's emptied the strategic. He hasn't emptied shit, dude. The strategic oil reserve is not empty. It never was empty. It never was full during Donald Trump's term.
Got to educate yourself.
So when we look at where we are in this economy, the economy clearly is better than it has been at certainly post-pandemic. And you look at global inflation. The other thing that people don't want to talk about is our inflation rate is coming down precipitously, while most of the world is slowly and incrementally, painfully coming down. And you look at China, you look at Japan, you look at real global economies. China is an economy that's in real trouble. Real trouble. That's an economy that is going to continue to struggle post-pandemic until they make real foundational changes. But why is that? Because they rely on everything. Export. That's the real issue.
Yes.
So my point is, when we look at the economy, I would relax a little bit. The Obamas stole the show last night. Last night was that night that if you are a party of Trump voter, you should be nervous. Because if she shows up on Thursday, Kamala Harris shows up on Thursday and delivers the way most people think she'll deliver, that crowd in Milwaukee last night should terrify you. Because I don't know how many people, and I know we have a lot of conservatives on this show who probably didn't pay attention. The Democratic National Convention, Chicago, Illinois. Kamala Harris and Tim Walz' appearance at Pfizer Forum, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. 90 minutes up the freeway. Pfizer Forum was full last night. Sold out for an appearance from Kamala Harris and Tim Walz. A watch party. And then you go to the United Center, and by the time the main acts took the stage, packed. Michelle Obama's speech was everything that you wanted. And you look at this crowd in Milwaukee.
Place is packed, bro. Like, look at that place.
And again, my conservative friends, that's a larger crowd than the RNC had there. And you start looking at
the announcement of the delegation and the rules and procedures of this convention.
You look at this roll call.
Oklahoma, 43 votes, President Trump.
This is the same building.
West Virginia.
This building right here, where you see the entire upper deck and all of these seats that are empty in the foreground, just above that graphic. It's tough to debate.
Yeah.
It's tough to debate.
And I thought, the big difference I saw was the energy. The RNC was like dead. I mean, the
RNC for the roll call was just dead.
Like the RNC had good energy like over the course of the days, but I felt like the roll call, there was it was very clear what was happening last night at the DNC, which was, hey, we're gonna do a lot of energy. We're gonna allow everyone to have fun.
Celebrities, famous people, a DJ on stage.
Now, again, the RNC had celebrities, had some people, but I guess I don't know. Am I hating by saying I felt like the DNC had more energy? I mean,
But here's the difference. You see this tape.
The announcement of the delegation and the rules and procedures of this
You see this tape right here.
Oklahoma, 43 votes, President Trump.
And then you go to this tape.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are here tonight to officially nominate Kamala Harris for president. Five, get loud, another round of shots. DNC, turn
Thomas
up.
spoke.
Hey,
And look how many people are in that building.
Hey, everybody get your hands up. Now, say, we're not going back. We're not going back. We're not going back.
I mean, it's you guys. It's this is a problem. This is a problem for Donald Trump and the party of Trump. You now have. I think again, and I know I say this every day. You've got to refocus and get on message now, because you're going to all of these battleground states, and I think he's in Arizona today. You're going to all these battleground states. And there's no energy. You can't have J.D. Vance talking ever for any reason, but certainly not in front of 180 something people.
It's not a good look.
Refocus. J.D. Vance should only be seen standing next to Donald Trump. Donald Trump is the energy. He's the figurehead. He's the guy that people turn out for. You can't have J.D. Vance talking to a couple hundred people. Right? And one of the things that I would tell the Trump campaign, if I were an advisor of theirs, if you want to be in these big arenas, smaller seating areas. Do not put wide angle cameras at a Trump rally if that place is not full to the gills. Don't do it. Do not do it. And I know that they are now hesitant to do shows outside. The Trump campaign, according to reports, is a little hesitant. And if he is outside, they're going to surround him with bulletproof glass, which is going to be awkward. But I think that if you're going to be outside, build a smaller venue. It is this crowd size thing that Barack Obama joked about again last night.
Right.
This crowd size thing, you got to let that go, man. Because Donald Trump has got to get back to shows. His rallies used to be these wildly energetic, entertainment events. And it's turned into 2 hours or 90 minutes of Donald Trump mumbling and talking about 2016 and insulting Kamala Harris because she's a woman and she's not qualified to be president because of birther issues.
Mm-hmm.
And you just can't do that. Go and get her on the economy. Go and get her on immigration. Go and get her on crime. Right? Like J.D. Vance doing interviews about the crime in Chicago. Please, God, somebody, if you're a Republican, stop fucking putting Pete Buttigieg on Fox News.
Bro.
He got you again, and you put him on with a guy that nobody knows, and he kicked your ass again. Again. And what did he beat you on? The immigrant crime wave. The immigrant crime wave that you just can't back up with facts. And so what does Pete Buttigieg do? He rolls out facts on you and you look dumb. Stop putting Mayor Pete on Fox News. You know what I mean? Like we talk about it every day on this show. I don't understand what Fox and the Trump campaign are doing.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't understand the strategy. What is the goal? What how do you think that this is going to help you?
It's crazy.
Gain those votes that you obviously want to gain. And that's where I struggle because,
man,
again, watching both of these conventions, you have a situation where the Democrats, again, I'm not saying that it's better just on its face. What I'm saying is that they had more energy. It felt more positive. It felt more like just sort of joyous, I guess, whereas the RNC specifically during the roll call, but there were a lot of times where I felt like, man, like it's kind of just like, I don't know, dead is probably strong, but it just doesn't feel
they're
like
lacking energy.
Yeah, like it just doesn't feel energetic.
I just am telling you that you look at some of these polling numbers, and you start to understand. I was looking at a poll this morning, and the funny thing is, did anybody see the Donald Trump poll on Truth Social? So Donald Trump puts a poll out on Truth Social. Kamala Harris, Donald Trump, Kennedy, other. Should anybody be concerned that RFK got 13% of that vote on his Donald Trump put a poll out on his Truth Social account. He got like 71%. RFK got, I think, 12.3% of that poll. Is nobody worried about that? Like that should concern you. That should concern you. You've got to bring him in. And there's talk about it now, but you've got to get RFK to endorse Donald Trump. I think that is a must.
Thing.
That is a must. It has to happen. But you start looking at the power that Obama carries. Barack Obama and Michelle Obama, you don't have to like them, but you can't deny that's a power couple.
Aura.
That is a power couple. And I think it is really interesting that I am surprised that Barack Obama came out so passionately to endorse Kamala Harris. I'm really surprised by it.
Why do you say?
Because that's not ever been his style. He didn't even do that for Joe Biden. And his endorsement was ringing. Their savagery on Donald Trump lit Twitter on fire last night. You look at all the trending topics, that Obama speech, and I don't know if it's still trending this morning. I have to imagine it is. But you look at Barack Obama and you look at the poll that cat has, dude, you're in a tough spot because Barack Obama's got real pull, and if he does in fact wind up on the campaign trail, yeah, it is absolutely trending. Michelle Obama, I think, probably was the biggest winner last night. And you look at the way that that crowd, that building, Pfizer Forum in Milwaukee.
Well, that was the flex. I feel like a lot of people, and Fox was talking about it too. So it's not just, CNN or any of the Democratic leaning networks. Like there's real conversation about the fact that they had 2 buildings sold out last night for the event in that evening, if you will. I mean, that's what is that? Close to 60,000 people, probably 55,000
between the two.
Yeah, between the two, something like that. So I don't know, man. Like I said, I don't want to get into people are all pissed off and red ass with us about it, but it's just hard to deny the clear difference between the two.
We'll see. It is undoubted that Barack Obama, I think, is still the most powerful figure in the Democratic Party. And you never hear from the guy. I mean, you never, ever hear from him. And you get into these situations and here he comes, and he's been an invisible guy for the past 3 years. And now all of a sudden the guy's out here flexing and Michelle's out here flexing, and it's meaningful.
Yeah,
it is. And I'm not, don't get me wrong. And I see all the comments like Alpha Buckeye, who I think is a only Trump guy. He's surprised Obama supports Kamala Harris. That's not what I said. That's not at all what I said. What I said was, I am really surprised that he came out that vehemently in support of her, because that's not been his MO. His MO has been to quietly support in the background, fundraise. Hey, I'll call some donors. You do not see Barack Obama making stump speeches for candidates. You do not see Barack Obama talking. You do not see Michelle and Barack Obama on the same stage in the same night, roundly and loudly supporting a candidate.
And going after Trump the way they did.
It's just not how he has operated. He has been very much, and I think he's talked about this when he left the White House. He's essentially said, That's it. I'm done. Like they were not willing participants in the last 7 years. And they certainly were not this out front on Joe Biden's campaign. I think there's no doubt about that. And I think if we look at the 7 states that are going to control the outcome of this election, I do not see Kamala Harris winning Pennsylvania. I mean, I think she's going to win Minnesota. The Democrats always win Minnesota. I think she's got a pretty commanding lead right now in Wisconsin. She's leading in Michigan. But again, I think she's got to find a way to win Georgia and North Carolina. Because I think she's going to win California, Nevada, and Arizona. She's got to find a way to win North Carolina and Georgia. Because I think that Ohio and Pennsylvania are going to be very tough, although Tim Walz, clearly his numbers helped him in the Midwest. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting. Tomorrow night is the biggest night of that woman's career. Kamala Harris has to deliver tomorrow night without question. It's good to chat you guys up. Appreciate you being here. The Monty Show, as always, presented by The Advocates, theadvocates.com. Best injury attorneys in the business. Chat with an injury attorney live online 24/7, 365 at theadvocates.com. If you're not dead until tomorrow, Jake.
Say goodbye, Jake.
Goodbye, Jake.